Can we ride in this moment? Can we ride? Nothing's stopping us tonight. No, not a single gray light in our sight. In our way, in our way. I'll be your passenger. You lead the way. You lead the way. I'll let you take the wheel. I'm feeling something real. I need to feel that breeze rush your feeling. Not a single taillight in our sight. All I see are green lights ahead, lighting our way, our way, yeah. Lighting up our way, lighting up our way, they light it up, they light it up, Can we drive right into this feeling? Can we drive? 'Cause there's a way I'm stepping tonight. No, not a single red light in our sight. In our way, yeah. I'll be our passenger. You lead the way. I'll let you take the wheel. I'm feeling something real. I need to feel that breeze rush over me. You lead the way. Not a single taillight in our sight. In our way. All I see are green lights ahead, lighting our way. Lighting up, yeah. Lighting away. All the green lights.
All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the Alliance live show number 96. We're ready to get rocking and rolling here. I have a few things we want to discuss. Not much action going on in the world of SWGOH or SWGOH. And I am joined by my usual merry band of folks. I happen to be with my esteemed colleague and good friend, good old Maurice. How you doing, buddy? All right, Maurice, good times, good stuff. I'm also with Avinash. How you doing, Abby?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Good, I'm sure.
Sorry, you're breaking up real bad there. Sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a Discord update or something I missed, but hopefully
No,
not.
you're good.
But also, we're joined by the hostess with the mostest, RangerJ1999 from the Reality Skewed Gamers. How you doing, friend?
I'm doing good. I have a bone to pick with
You have a bone to pick with who?
GOM.
With
The
John?
man, the myth, the legend. Because I lost my...
How about them troopers? Your non-critting troopers.
You bastard. You set me up for failure.
I've used that team twice, man. Twice against that exact card team. Very popular team.
Yeah. And I lost the finals by just a few points because of that. So I hope you feel good about yourself, good old Maurice.
Well, I apologize. You're a grown man. You can say no. I don't like that team.
No, I trusted you. I trusted you like a brother. I feel betrayed like I've never felt betrayed before.
Yes.
I was like, good old Maurice knows what he's doing. He's a wise old country bumpkin. He's a wise old country bumpkin from South Kakalaki. I can trust him. I can go in here with my troopers who are modded and well placed and gear 12, and I can do this. And lo and behold, I was slaughtered. I was slaughtered like lambs to the field of slaughter. Blood everywhere.
Why is old Maurice's troopers crit when they attack?
I did have some bad RNG in that, so.
Sorry about that, man. I apologize.
No, I'm kidding. It's just one of those things where we're trying to figure it out.
Frank DiGiero, what's going on, my friend? It's a buddy of mine since childhood, man. Just popping on the stream. What's going on, friend?
Ramon's cover has been blown.
Yeah. No, occasionally his brother's pumped out the stream before too. I mean, I not much, brother. How are you? Miss you, man. Yeah, him and his brother have been friends of mine. They literally grew up around the corner from them, and we all went to the same elementary school, and we all rode bikes together, and we all played hide and seek and manhunt together late at night. And this is back in the day. Nowadays you can't do anything like that. Back in the day when we were kids, I mean, you could hang out till let's say 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock when it was dark, and then come home, and that was cool. I mean, nowadays I would never let my kid go out at night and just be like, come back for supper. You don't do that anymore. And it's a different life now. But yeah, we used to do backyard wrestling together and stuff when we were kids. Yeah, good times. I used to dominate. I was backyard wrestling champion. I was a champion when I was able to decide that I was the champion. So I mean, I would be like, making the decision like, yeah, I'm going to win tonight, and we ran it like that. But it was a lot of fun. We used to throw each other through wooden tables in the backyard, and we would light them on fire and stuff. We were right at the hype of that backyard wrestling craze. Towards the end of around 99, 2000, we were really into it at that time when that was a big deal.
Is that what the video game came out with the ICP song in it?
Yeah, backyard wrestling. The game they had a game for it. They had a game. It was really at its height back then, and we used to. We had our own characters. I mean, we were, at first, we were I was Stone Cold Steve Austin or Hulk Hogan or something like that. But as we got older, we created our own characters. We had our own intro music. We had storylines that we built up, and we would actually go all out on it. We spent a lot of time on it. So it was something we would do on the weekends. Hey, listen, it's better than doing drugs,
Yeah. This was last week you're talking about?
This was yesterday. Yeah. No, I was planning out my intro yesterday. But yeah, I have a whole bunch of tapes and stuff. Actually, Frank, the guy in the chat, is the one that is supposed to put together a DVD of all the wrestling tapes that we've ever made, and I happen to have the cache of them. I have them here. I have all the there's 50 tapes of us wrestling, and we have to convert it to VHS from VHS to DVD or CD or whatever, and then eventually give everybody a copy. I definitely want to.
Who is FMX and LDB? Which one of those is you? These are all posted. The ladder match. Oh boy.
I'm probably talking on it, but that LDB was not me. My name was Hellraiser.
Looks like you're about to get whacked with a chair in this picture.
I bet you I am. That's a pretty young.
Oh, look at these special effects on the intro.
You guys should definitely YouTube that and check it out if you want to see what wrestling really looks like when you're a kid.
You guys are kind of grown-up kids in this video.
We had good times, man. I mean, yeah, I was only 32, 33,
Oh, there's you with the belt. Okay, carry on. My
bad. I'm kidding. No, we were in our mid to late teens, But yeah, I was quite a character back then. We all were. Frank, I'm glad to see you're here. I hope you're doing well, my brother. I miss you, man. But yeah, I wanted to dive into this topic a little bit, and I wanted to talk about what your guys' thoughts were on this. I mean, what do you guys think about Territory Battles Geonosis? I mean, obviously, first of all, I want to ask, when do you guys think it's coming? I mean, do you think it's coming soon? Do you think it's coming in a couple weeks? Do you think it's coming in a couple months? I mean, how far away do you think we are from this?
I think it's going to be. I think I might look at it maybe the next one. the next TB, definitely, I think it's going to be this next month for sure. That's just a guess, but I'm really excited for it to come out.
I think Avinash is onto something. I think end of this month or end of June, not this month, but end of June into July. So end of second quarter for them into, or their second quarter into their second quarter. This is the start of their first quarter. So end of the first quarter into second quarter. To have something to work toward, another big bang. They always seem to have that trend of putting it at the end of quarters, these things, and some stuff in between to generate revenue. I think there's some more reworks coming and some marquees coming in June, and by the beginning of June, and I think by the end of June, you'll start seeing either the launch of this next territory battle or beginning of July.
Yeah.
But I was thinking the end of June would be when they're going to launch the second or third territory battle that month.
I think they're going to do the rework before they release it.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I'm kind of torn on this. I feel like they wouldn't have announced it like way too early. Like, I know they've made that mistake in the past. Like, remember when they told us about the HAT or HAT, Jesus, the tank raid. Remember when they told us about the tank raid, and then we kind of got like a trailer for it, like back in, like, I think it was April or May of that year, and then we didn't get it for like 6 more months. It was like a really long wait, and I don't think they would have shown us like those graphics if they didn't have most of this already kind of mapped out, and they've already done a few territory battles, so I know that this is probably going to be more of a smooth transition for them. But hopefully it comes out relatively soon. And I mean, do you think once they do release this territory battles that it's going to be all we see for the next year, or do you think they're going to alternate it with the Hoth territory battles?
It's hard to say what they're going to do. People still need the light side and the dark side, as well as the Geonosian one. I don't know if they're going to maybe do like, every 3 times, or what they might. I don't know what they might consider on that. I mean, it's one of my, I don't know why, but it's like one of my favorite game modes. It just gives me a vacation break from everything else, and I can catch up on a lot of stuff when I'm doing TBs. With the new Geonosian one, I don't expect myself to be, playing it cool and having time to catch up with everything, because I'm going to be concentrating on seeing what's new and what they're going to throw at us. They're probably going to throw everything and the kitchen sink at us in this Geonosian TB. I think it's going to be a lot more difficult than we think.
What do you guys think as far as like other assets they might add to the game for this TB? I mean, we already heard, like the rumors of them adding that monster that they fight in the arena there. But what about the other characters they may release? I mean, do you think that we're getting? See, because I kind of thought that Padme was going to be part of Territory Battles Geonosis. Like, I thought that she would be like a chase character there. Do you think we're going to get any new characters in the Guild Event store?
Well, they said we're going to get something. Yes, I think some guild store we're getting something. I think they said in the post. I dread this new game. It's another TB. Hopefully they'll release this TB. They'll cause pandemonium. Everyone will leave their guilds, and everyone will shake it up and leave and just rip apart the community. And then they'll realize, hey, this is still a TB. It still sucks. Maybe the developers. This will be. I don't know. I don't like TB. So boring. It's the same thing over and over and over again for 5 days. It just gets a little tougher. You're gonna need an absurd amount of stuff for this one, right? You're gonna have like all these separatist droids, and they'll probably be like the, phase 5, phase 6 special mission You'll have to have them, and they'll be incredibly difficult. You'll have to have 8 Zetas on your droids, or otherwise you won't get any special event currency. You get kicked out of your guild. So, it's they said that no new characters are planned for this month, right? So that means you can work on whatever you want, and then they'll drop TB, and you realize, like, oh, I shouldn't have spent all my resources because now I have to have 8 Zetas on my droids. I have to have this new Nute Gunray, this new Dooku. It's I don't know.
Well, that's one of the sad things about this kind of a release is that it's just going to tear apart guilds.
Oh, it absolutely will. Every release tears apart guilds.
Yeah,
and it's so stupid because then you just end up a month later like, oh, this is really
it's like
fun.
why did I leave my guild because I'm only like 2 weeks ahead. So it's just
we've got this character that we kick people out of the guild for because they didn't want to farm him, but now you don't even need him for the mission anymore. They just removed him from the requirement. So
right. Yeah, and it's really kind of sad. I think that my 2 guilds they're gonna hold up. They're gonna be good. We're gonna do good. Nobody's gonna be leaving anywhere. I have a feeling that we're gonna get a lot of offers to come into the guild, but I don't think we're gonna have anybody leaving anyway.
No. I think we'll be fine. We kind of gotta take it as we get it type of approach. Do it all together. We have very low turnover.
So, yeah.
I was just because the last time TB came out, I was in charge of the recruiting for the Alliance community as a whole. What a nightmare that was! People transferring, people leaving, recruiting, guilds not full, everyone's freaking out, pandemonium. I dread that part of it. I'm being a real negative Nancy. Sorry. I don't know. My bad.
No, that's one thing that because I recruit for both the guilds and both of them are in 2 different alliances. So that's a big thing for me. But it's like, look, I imagine that there's probably going to be a lot of mid to low guilds that are going to be doing a lot of shuffling around trying to get into higher guilds to be able to get more whatever it is that we're going to get. So, and that's the higher guilds are going to get stuffed to the hilt, I think.
Well, this is a lot of the factions we already have, right? For Dark Side, a lot of the factions that could be required if they're not going to be releasing characters this month, as they said. We've got most of the stuff. You might need a new Nute Gunray, you might need the new Dooku, but we've got Geonosians, we've got the Separatist droids. We've got possibly the Night Sisters. You could possibly need a Night Sister. They don't have to make sense, right? Like you have to use Phoenix, you have to use Rogue One on Hoth. So I mean, these team comps don't necessarily have to make sense. I hope you don't have to have 7-star Malik and Revan. That'd be kind of dirty of them so quick. But it's the long game. I don't know. I'm trying to be optimistic here about it. I'm trying to change my tune because
now they'll just make us platoon a lot of Maliks or something.
I was really hoping them making the platoons static and just not requiring anything, no Captain Han, no whatever IPD. They said it was a bug. That's fine, but I was kind of hoping that doing all this stuff would be the end of TB, and they're gonna use the resources, the people that were tweaking the platoons and messing with all that stuff. They made it static, so I was hoping maybe they could, spend their time doing something else, like a new raid, not a new TV.
Right.
That's so. I'm just kind of disappointed it's TV.
I understand what you're saying there, and I agree. I mean, I was kind of hoping for another raid or another game mode for Guild versus Guild, or something in that fashion. I mean, I'm a big proponent of the Guild versus Guild stuff because I mean, I kind of feel like it enforces interaction. Whereas like the PvP stuff, which is where they're kind of headed in the direction they're kind of headed in right now, I think it's more, solo based. And I mean, I remember a time in this game when you didn't have to know anybody. I mean, you remember when the game first came out, it was kind of like, you didn't think to, I never thought it would ever expand into something like this where, there's like Discords about the game and all these different, I mean, it's flourished, but when the game first came out, it was just PvP and Galactic War. You played by yourself. There was no reason to talk to anybody else. The only thing you had was, allies because you could use them to help you beat battles. But it didn't really matter. It wasn't until, I heard that guilds were coming and things like that I really started to seek and search out, other people. And I started to watch, YouTube videos. Really, YouTube got me into, like the community aspect of it. Because, before that, I was, not somebody who was very, into that scene to know that there was such a deep rabbit hole when it comes to the gaming world, that you can... literally, there's people that literally spend the entire day just on Discord or, on Reddit or in these various places. The internet is vast, and there is lots of interesting stuff you can kind of just dive into, and, you can just basically apply, so many hours of your time to it. So it's, like I said, the guild aspect to it is always something that I thought was cool, but hey, it seems like the direction they're going in is more of like a PvP-based game. The TB is, I guess, the furthest they're going to go with guild-related stuff, I think, anytime soon. They've said that they're going to be doing that championship series or the tournaments version of GA, so that I guess there'll be some sort of reward there. Again, I miss the days where we had these tournaments and they would release characters in these tournaments. And it was there was this sense to save up your ally tokens, and when the event's coming, you have this new character, we'd find out the kid about it, and literally nobody would have that character if they didn't win their tournament that night. And it was cool because it was you could, there was a lot of anticipation for the rewards, and the rewards were great because even if you didn't get even if you weren't a top 10 player in the tournament, you still, if you were top 100, would get a full unlock of the character. You'd get gear, you'd get some really cool boxes with the prize. So it was you got a full unlock of a 4-star character sometimes, and then you'd get some gear, you'd get some ability mats, some omegas and some purples and things like that. You got a whole bunch of stuff. So it was a cool prize, even if it wasn't that you were getting a 7-star character. And then they would
I gotta push back on you. Tournaments were a damn disaster. You make great points about the prizes. Problem is the cheating was so rampant in that damn thing.
Yes, I agree.
It takes away. I don't care what the prizes are.
It took away the fun for me.
But I would rather have tournaments with cheaters than no tournaments at all.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
I love tournaments, but
tournaments. Let's have this wonderful thing, but cheaters should be allowed. That's great.
I was never on a cheating server.
Oh my god!
Very fortunate, except for that one. You remember the very first one? You could just put in crap defense and just
yes.
Ridiculous. That one. I was like, wait, how'd this guy get third place with the Tuscans? What's going? Oh, just leapfrog each other the whole night, all the way up the ladder. It's so stupid.
Grande was telling me about a guy that he was doing this. He was on the phone with, and they were talking about doing it at the same time. I was like, "What?" It's just oh my god! I love the rewards, but there was it was a disaster. It was a disaster.
I got my Gen 7-star by
it.
Listen, I saw the cheating, okay, and I get it, but I feel like. Even though some people ruined it for everybody, I feel like the parts of it that were real, competition were great. The first ever territory wars, the first ever tournament, I went at it with somebody, and this was when it cost crystals. So it was
oh yeah.
Right.
It was
right.
super expensive, and it was
Alexis on Shore Trooper.
I did, but it was honestly the most fun I've ever. It was such an intense battle. It came down, and I came up a little short. I had to finish the 7-star on the next Shore Trooper battle, but I got a 6.5-star Shore Trooper basically, and it came down to the last battle, and it was me and 2 other dudes.
What, one of them your guildmate?
One of them was Obi Kreis.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the other one, I don't remember his name. But I mean, they were both in good guilds, and it was
Sure. I mean,
but it was also about like, I mean, it was about like proving yourself. I mean, because like, I mean, you were also on the stage, and all these people that play the game with you and are in different guilds. Like, I mean, like I was on a server, and you know, and you get to see they get to see how good you're doing, and it's kind of like that's a reward for you too, like that your name is at the top of the list.
That may be the case, but with the cheating that was rampant in that thing, was it really a test of how good you were when people are breaking the system? I mean, that's not a test of how good you are. That's just a test of how someone can buck the system and get rewards ahead of you, no matter what you try to.
I mean, really, it was a test of also how much money you could spend. At the end there, because
I
mean, like you know,
you spent a lot of that.
Yeah. I mean, because I mean,
I was like, you're crazy.
Those battles. I mean, when they first did it, that price structure was absolutely insane. I mean, I think it was like those battles were like hundreds of crystals at the end when your team was like fully.
Remember that it wasn't just the team; it was per character. Mm-hmm. So you had to switch up your characters because it got so pricey for one character. So you had to drop that one and then stick somebody else in at like 5 crystals, or just out of the blue, like 5 crystals, and then it just went up from there. And you're like, holy crap!
And sometimes like they would like what one of the guys did was like in the last like 20 minutes or the last 30 minutes or so of the tournament, he switched out his arena team and put in like a super tanky. Remember like that like Skycrack Galactic War team that's like it was like at that time it was like the power level. Yes. The power level was like really high, and it was like the tankiest team in the game. So like it took you like an extra minute to beat this team. So he did this like just to like make it slower for you to like. So he changed his defensive team to make it slower for you to win, which was really smart on his part. Like so, like you would still get the victory, but it would take you like an extra minute or so to beat that team than it would like a traditional like a more of a meta team. And he switched it out, and I remember like last minute that like slowed up me and the other guy because we had to decide like which guy we're going to face, because you can only face like 2 spots behind you if you're rank 1. And I was sitting rank 1 all night long, and I remember like I was sitting there and I was like, I think I'm far enough ahead where it's okay. And like I went to sleep and I took a nap. And when I woke up, the guys were like literally like on my ass, like right behind me. And I was like, oh no. And I jumped on the phone and I started going crazy. And I bought like another vault. And then it was like really stupid. Really stupid.
In the chat, I found it. I found it on my YouTube. It's one of the old tournaments where I got second place without cheating for Jin. I can't believe I still had that. Little interrupt you to brag. Sorry, no.
No, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, listen, tournaments for me were great. I mean, besides that event, I also had a lot of ally tokens. So I mean, I got Cassian.
The majority of the player base, because of the rampant cheating, they had no shot. It was crazy. It was about how much you could spend, So it left a lot of the players like, why should I even bother, with this kind of thing, and just everything else. So I don't know how they're going to handle this new tournament. They better have their ducks in a row, because there's not going to be any leeway on this, especially with the recent revelations of Darth microtransaction and everything that transpired from that. They're on thin ice with this. So if there's anything that is ridiculously wrong with this tournament, where there's ways to overcome, I mean, we're all honorable people here, and we want to play the tournament. And if I lose, like if I play SWGOH Maurice and I lose to SWGOH Maurice, then I'll shake his hand and say good job. But if I lose to someone and I find out they cheated, that just takes away not only from that person but from the whole tournament, right? Because then just the problem with this recent revelation is that it has caused people in the back of their minds, and I'm guilty of it too. Like, was I cheated out of some wins that or win that I should have gotten? You think back on it, CG has got to tighten the ship and the screws on cheating and making sure that it's not possible.
Every game, though, has like its people that manipulate the game. There's always going to be like a way to manipulate the game.
I know, but there's been more severe consequences.
I agree. The consequences could be more. So some people in other games will just get straight up banned forever. Like,
what was this revelation you speak of?
The one where you could move mods while you're in GA and stuff like that.
It would also. If
been able to do that for a long time.
If they took a harsh stance like that on one or two people, that would echo enough through the community. I think that people who would think of cheating wouldn't do it in fear of getting caught. Right? Like, so I mean, like, let's say you've invested, a couple $1,000s into this game, and you find out that one other person has been banned for life for cheating. You're going to think to yourself, like, this is probably not a good idea for this account, because if I get banned from this account, then I'll have wasted all this money. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I mean, there's also, I guess, I don't know, there must be like a legal ramification there too, right? If they ban you and you've spent money on the game, I mean, can't you take some sort of a stance that you would want your investment back?
You got to make a stance. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you just have to. It's one of those things where, when I read that post originally, I was like, that's your reaction. One, you're kind of throwing people under the bus. And two, your reaction is, we may give them a stern warning. What are you, the UN? What are you going to do if you find out? Well, we'll be very angry with you. And then we'll write you a letter telling you how angry we are. That's it? Okay.
Right.
If you don't put out there severe consequences, then there are people out there for whatever reason, and I never understand that it's like, really? This is how you play the game? Okay. This is something inside them, but I mean, you want fair play. And there are games where fair play, I mean, there's tons of games that have tournaments where it's like, it's fair play. There's no cheating, I mean, they're very harsh about it, and most of the player base is like that. But there are people too that will try to buck the system. They think if they can get all the glory and stuff, that it'll be good for them, or I don't know what it is. But
I've had quite a.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm in GA. I mean, there's several battles that I have lost, and before I even knew all of this, and I was like, I'd be scratching my head, going, "There is no way that this person beat me that efficiently. There's no way," especially with what they had on defense. In that sense, and then being able to take down my teams pretty much all in one shot, and now I know. So, and I thought, okay, there's no way they could be that good with.
Well, at the time, you're probably going, hey, kudos to them. Great job. I don't know how you did it, but you're just a better player than me. Then you find this stuff out, you're like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah, exactly. I thought, well, maybe they were pretty good. Maybe I'm just being sour grapes or something. But now that I think about it, it's like there's times where I'm like, no way. There is no way that person could have one-shot me. In that sense, especially with what they had put on defense. So.
Well, Ray Rock just said in the chat that 3 GAs ago, the person who beat me in the championship match got banned for cheating. So we know what's happening. So
right.
It's a sad state of affairs, but it makes me worried. The drawing it back full circles, I am worried about tournaments just from the past.
Right. Yeah. That definitely.
I mean, if you remember, the big cheat at the time wasn't even the hackers. That's different. That's people literally just telling the game that they won the battle when they didn't. And it was like, there was a way to basically one shot the other team or something like that. I forget, but it was like.
And this one's a little bit ambivalent because it's someone that moved their mods. It's it's a tough call, but they've known about it for so long. It's just a frustrating thing. So
this has been an issue for months. I don't know why all of a sudden everyone's so up in arms about it. It's been happening for a long time.
It was talked in the background, like I'd heard this,
right?
But I didn't register, and there had been no official post on it, and I'd heard rumors and things like that. I'm like, whatever. And it didn't register right until I watched that video from Darth Mark. I'm like, holy crap! Well, that's kind of a game changer. I wasn't aware that that's exactly how it played out, because I just don't think about how do I go about it.
Right, because it's something that we just don't really think about. We just play the game the way the game is intended, and then you find out about this, and you're like, holy crap.
Yeah, CJ just needs to fix the damn game, so we don't even have this as an issue. That's the biggest thing. I mean, you've had this long and known about it for this long, and you can't solve it, yet you can put the Nerf bat in Newt as many times as you've hit that poor bastard instantly. Come on, guys.
Well, the solution is just to have better mods than everybody. I mean, let's be real.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. It's an arms race.
Just get better mods.
I'm so sick of farming mods. Oh my god.
The original problem with the cheating wasn't the hacking, though. It was the people switching characters. If you remember that, what would happen would be at night, guildmates would, they'd wait till and I remember this was the best part of the tournament was having to wait till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and just seeing the guys that were colluding with each other, just kind of start. They would wait until late night, and then they would start. Taking out their top characters and then switching it. And you had to sit there with them and battle their weak teams to take the ride with them. Otherwise you'd fall behind. So you'd have to sit there, I'd have to sit there and watch. And when I saw two guys trying to catch up on me, I would just every time I saw one of their, gear 4 characters pop up on the screen, I would quickly battle it and take the easy win. And I had some sets of characters that were you had to switch out your characters and try to make it cheap. But it's you could gain a lot of momentum by catching these cheers, trying to collude in the middle of the night. That was part of it too. I mean, that was listen, I mean, cheating, like I said, it's going to happen. People are going to manipulate whatever they can to try to get ahead. I just feel you shouldn't remove a game mode entirely because of it. That's just my opinion. I think that it still should be there, and maybe you figure out some way to rework it. But I mean, to completely shut tournaments down, and now it hasn't come back in 2 years, 2.5 years. It's a long time.
Yeah, that's because they couldn't figure out how to make it not that way, and and I agree with the decision to pull it. If you can't control it, then you better pull it. Because as a company, if you have a gaming product that advertises tournaments and then you find out as a player that tournaments are garbage and there's cheating and all this other stuff, you don't want that kind of press. If you don't have a product that's effective and works, then you better pull it, because the consequences of leaving it in there as a bad product are going to come back and bite you in the ass 1,000 times more through bad press, through bad publicity, through things of that nature. Ratings, all that kind of stuff. So if they want to bring tournaments back, I'm fine with it. I'm interested to see how they're going to do this, with the different levels of GP and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just saying they just need to have their ship tight, or it's going to.
Are they going to include characters and stuff? Are they giving away character shards and stuff?
I don't know what the rewards are going to be. They've been very tight-lipped. They've not said anything about this. All we know is that we're just going to get tournaments.
If there's no characters involved, who cares? Unless the rewards are really, really good. Unless there's 6 top mods in there,
Well, is it not going to be a ladder system like we had? There are just about every single other game like this.
I don't know. I mean, how do you what's the cutoff for GP? How do you?
There is no GP cutoff. You win or you don't. It's bracketed out. If you can't, let's say my GP's, what is my GP? 4.8 million, and we'll say that your GP Ranger, for example, is 3.6. You can't beat me, so you're not going to advance to the next tier. You have to beat people to rank up. GP is relevant.
I know what Maurice, you're going to raffle stomp that 3.6.
I know that. I'm not saying that's the best way, but I'm saying there are hundreds and hundreds of other turn-based, battle type games where that is the arena. There is no daily arena. It's paid out weekly or bi-weekly or monthly. It's climb up the ladder.
It's like a ladder system. Yeah, I know exactly what Maurice is talking about.
Yeah, I know. It's like World of Warcraft did. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm just that's what I that's what I envision is going to happen. I could be way off. I hope I do, because that would be very discouraging for lower players. Especially, it will balance itself out, but the first initial tournament, the first few matches, weeks, however they're going to do it, it's going to be very, very lopsided. Be very, very discouraging and leave a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth if that is what they're indeed going to do. So we'll see. I'm optimistic about it. But I am pessimistic for some of the cheating reasons that you guys have gone over here. We'll see. I personally welcome some sort of game mode where you can actually tell, kind of bragging rights, if you will. Like,
just give us a sandbox. Damn, just give us a sandbox. Then I can go in there and good old Maurice can raffle stomp. That's it.
But there's no income to be made from you and I just doing a scrimmage.
I don't think, however, it's just going to be like one server with like every player in the entire game, and like you'll be ranked either 5,000 or rank 1, and I don't think it'll be that. I think they'll have separate ones. Like I think there'll be multiple championships going on. I don't think there'll be one championship.
Can you imagine some poor 1 million GP in the first round going against good old Maurice with 5? Round 1.
Right? I mean, you don't think it'll be? You don't think they're really trying to get like a number 1 player out of like the whole? That they're trying to create one big server like that, right? Where like you're going to be ranked like 25,900, and you got to work your way up to rank 1.
Well, they've already we had that data mine months ago where it was like, there's the Erodium tier, and there's the Bronzium tier, and there's the Chromium tier, and I guess there will probably be different sub levels in each tier, and your reward at the end of the tournament is based on where you placed in which tier, which sub level, and then it will reset. Like in this other game I play, Epic 7, every single week you climb the ladder, and then the week's over, and it knocks you back down to the very bottom rung of your current tier. And that first day, I'm pulverizing people, level 40 and 50 characters. There's 60s. I just have much, much better teams than them as I climb my way back up and kind of stall out as I get higher. I'm not very good at this, but it's it's kind of it's fun, but
so let it be written, so let it be done.
I'm by no means in the highest tier. I'm probably the third.
Those rewards need to be good, though. They need to be real good.
They really need to be good.
This is not Grand Arena. This
is
is a tourney, and if you want people involved, you've got to dangle that carrot. Then that makes me worried about.
I'm talking about like when I mean good, I mean like you got to get like a 4-star unlock of a character when you place in the top.
I don't think it has to be characters. I think people are not.
That's all I care about, man. That's all I care about.
I think it's more about gear. Well, you would care about it, but most of the people are sucking on Carbantes and all this other crap.
I'll take Carbantes, but I'm saying that. But I mean, am I going to feel
Vegas, Zetas, that kind of stuff?
If you played for 5 days for a tournament and then you won it, and then at the end, your prize was like 10 Zetas and like a Carbante. I mean, are you going to be happy with that?
No, it needs to be like two fully crafted Zeta.
It's not that still wouldn't make me happy. I mean, I would feel
happy. If I had 2 Zetas, I would never leave the house.
And that would make me.
If first place got 2 full Zetas and 3 fully crafted those MK7 $20 bills, I mean, I'm all in.
That is pretty awesome. Okay, you're talking about 2 fully crafted Zetas. Okay, yeah, but what I'm saying,
the temptation on Ring is.
But no. But realistically, I mean, that's first place. That's not. You're not getting that. So what I'm saying is like, for the regular player, there has to be something else where like you get like shards. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, like
something as you go. Something as you go. If you get something every time you win a battle, just a little something, but you hit a certain point, maybe a certain like juncture credits, in that. Yeah, a certain juncture that you pass. That you win at a certain point, or however many you may have won, then you kind of bump up and you get like a special prize for that, for achieving this.
I think it's rare gear and Zetas and Omegas and credits for each victory you get.
I have 60 Zetas right now, and I'm not excited about it at all. Okay, what gets me excited...
That's not enough, buddy. You need more.
What gets me excited is like shards for... like some character that I don't have yet, but I mean, let's say I win a couple of tournaments, I'll finish him up. And the better I place, the closer I get to finishing up this character. And then there'll be people that have like this kind of trophy because they were able to be some of the first to finish the character up, and they'll be able to use him in arena. And that's cool. To me, that's cool.
Keep characters out of it. That's what really, especially if it's a character nobody has, that's when you get people going.
It doesn't have to even be anybody crazy. They could literally release Scout Trooper.
Chewy shards.
Scout. Listen. No. tournament one's rewards are Scout Trooper shards and gear and Zetas. Scout Trooper. Scout Trooper is not by any means like a highly coveted character, but he's somebody that's
Scout
cool.
Trooper, and what trooper are you talking about?
The Scout Trooper, the trooper with the.
You want to introduce Scout Trooper into the game,
right? Just for the
okay.
You guys
for a second there, I thought he meant one of the Hoth guys.
I was like, you mean like Hoth Rebel Scout or what?
That's what I was thinking of. That's what I was thinking. I thought,
you know who Scout Trooper is.
Oh yes, I know him very well.
Right here is Scout Trooper.
I don't need a picture of it.
Scout Trooper. When they first announced like the badges and titles, there was like a Scout Trooper badge. I think Arnold made a video where like Scout Trooper could be coming to the game. No.
That would be cool, Scout Trooper. Yeah. But they could, and that would be a decent generic free character that they could give out for tournaments, and I would be happy with attaining that character because I know over time, it's just something. Even though it doesn't have to be Luke Skywalker, it could be something else. It could be Jabba. It could be Salacious Crumb. It could be something dumb. It could be like
Salacious Crumb.
It could be Geonosian. Geonosian Queen.
If you say Jar Jar, I'm going to yell at you.
First place in tournaments awards a portrait in a title.
Geonosian General, or it could be. Listen, it could be Jar Jar. I would take that. Okay, something other than
Shame.
Okay. I really wouldn't want Jar Jar. Okay,
not Jar Jar.
I really wouldn't want Jar Jar. I would prefer anything else other than Jar Jar. But I'm saying the point is that it could be a generic clone for all I care. It just has to be somebody, and I think that these chase things in the game are all but gone. There's nothing left. Vader's gone. Vader, you can buy.
What about the 5 characters you need for Malak and Revan?
You could buy a Vader pack. You could buy a Vader pack today.
Buy a Vader pack.
You could buy a Vader pack today. You could buy a Vader pack today. They used to have to work. Getting a 7-star Vader for me was a big deal. Getting Grievous to 7 stars was a big deal.
That was a painful experience. Yeah, I don't like it.
Getting those whopping 2 Vader shards for some big achievement. It was like
I used to refresh the shard shop to get you Vader shards. And now you can buy a Vader pack for like 80 shards. It's like ridiculous.
Rewind. You have a lot of characters, and I understand you want some more, but the vast majority of players out there, are hurting more with credits and gear more than anything. It's always mods, credits, and gear. It's the biggest thing that hurdle that people not being able to get the character shards. It's more about getting those pieces where it's like, great, I unlocked it. I can only take it to year 7. Crap. It's those are the things that really trip players up more. So if they're gonna, let's not talk about Zetas and. I mean, my God. I every time I get 20, it's like it's gone because the characters that need it are just ridiculous. Because they keep introducing all these teams that need so. Like I just put the leader on Padme. I'm like, oh my God, I have another one. And then I'm like, God damn, I have to do the one on. Damn it! Because I just did all Darth Revan and Karth, and I'm like, I'm so proud of and I'm not even close to being. So it's like, those are the kind of stuff people are really hurting for. But I could see maybe a combination of both. Let's meet in the middle. Some character shards and some high quality gear in Zetas. I think that would be good.
Yeah.
Give us a crap ton load of guild store currency, right?
Yes.
That's what we need. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I would be happy with that. Like that's the only reason I even participate in the tank raid anymore is just to get more guild store currency and credits. I mean, the gear is irrelevant to me. On the off chance I might get
gear sucks for the hat.
God, it's awful. I might need
I did it the other day. I got like 3 or 4. I can't remember what I got, and I was like, "All right, let's see what I get." And I was like, "That's what I got, you sons of."
I have over 2,500 of those MK11 double disc things that they give us in that.
I swear, I hate those more than anything.
That's terrible.
It's you get that gear, and you're like, "Weren't y'all supposed to be fixing this?"
I mean, still add a character to the guild event store. Add a character.
Yeah, well, right now all my guild event stuff. Alex, so that's fun.
I
can't wait for the next character to go in there.
I need a ton of gear for characters. Don't get me wrong, but listen, gear is
But I'm
important.
getting worried about you. You keep saying characters like I swear, man, you're having a Pokemon fetish or something going on here.
I am having a Pokemon fetish. That's what this game is.
He's got to collect them all. He's got to.
I know. Remon's got OCD for characters.
But who doesn't have OCD for characters? This is a collectible.
Not me.
This is
Me, I don't want any
Not
more
me. I can tell you.
This game
I've got characters on the bottom that are like 50 and not even farmed that I will never care about touching.
This game is collect them all. That's what this game is.
Pokemon, collect
That's
them
what this
all.
game is. This game is collect them all. What are you talking about? If you play this game, you like collecting things, like characters. So I mean, that's what this game is about. Sometimes I'll sit here
Certain
and spend.
characters, not collect them all.
Sometimes you sit there and stare at a digital character on screen and just spin it in a circle. Okay.
Really?
Oh,
That's
God.
All right,
Yes,
you
I
do it.
do.
You do it. Okay.
I don't do that. I'm horrified that you said that.
You do it. Okay. I've seen.
Yes, when I see Ugnon, I just sit there and stare at that little piggy face.
Just
and
spin the
go,
character.
I want it so much.
But no, I mean, what I'm trying to say here is that there's so many characters that I don't even want to touch. Like you're saying, I mean, there's like I do not want to put.
You can't help it, Rimon. You want that character.
You got that Gear 12 critic.
I
You got a Gear 12 critic.
I got a Gear 12 critic. Yeah.
What are you doing with him?
I got a Gear 12 range trooper the other day too.
Mob Enforcer's.
I like that.
Right
I like that range trooper. That was worth it to me. That was
Yeah,
that's Mob Enforcer.
That range trooper is awesome.
Look at Mob Enforcer though. Goggles. She's got that nice pirate shirt on.
Appropriate.
Rimon. She's calling.
Wooin. Sorry, Matt, I butchered your name. Raises a good question here.
What's that?
Who's worried about GP inflation? It's all about getting them all. So what about the people that are
Yeah.
like? What do you do? What do you do now that you're trying to trim your GP for Grand Arena, but at the same time your guild is going to need you to inflate your GP for TB? This is going to be an interesting pickle.
Honestly, I don't care. I will do whatever I want. I'm not going to trim the fat or anything like that. So, I mean, as it is, pretty much almost all of my tunes are I don't know, at least Gear 11. At least Gear 11, not 12.
That Mob Enforcer's calling you again too, like Rimon.
Oh, I tell you, yeah. I just, that Gamorrean guard, he's my honey. He's my little bacon bits.
Well, I've got 54. I just counted. I have 54 characters without mods on them.
You're a good man.
I have every character.
It just counted.
Every one of my character has mods. Every one of my characters is level 85.
I'm just saying.
I use it for mod storage.
Every one of my characters is probably at least Gear 11.
I'm just telling you right now, characters that I will never touch. Okay, Rose Tico not getting touched. Okay,
I think she will. That's a lie. You're gonna do it.
Unless I'm
she's
forced.
spinning. Rimon, she's spinning. She's spinning right now. You're looking at
Just
her.
watch her. Yeah. Just watch her.
He's actually probably doing it right now. Going, Rose Tico. Yeah.
But
I must have it.
But no, seriously, there's gonna be unless I get forced to touch a Mob Enforcer, obviously. New Gunray, I'm probably now going to get forced to gear up New Gunray because they're going to do something.
What did you say?
He's going to be part of territory battles. You're going to have to gear him up. Curse on Underworld Police. Don't want to touch him. Talia, I don't want to touch her. Even though people love Talia for the Night Sister team, no way. I'm not doing it. Okay? She kills herself.
You're not. Yeah, you're not getting on the raid, man. If you're not a raider, you don't need Talia.
Amazing.
So if I decide that it's necessary for TW and that everybody needs to farm it, are you going to defy my orders?
No, of course not. Of course not. Of course not. What I'm saying is that. What I'm saying is the point is that the character I don't want to gear them up, right? So it's not like I wouldn't gear up any of these characters. I will gear up Rose Tico if my guild needs it. But what I'm saying is, like, as far as like the like the characters I don't want to touch. I mean, Talia, I've always felt in my mind, if a character has to kill themselves to heal somebody else, not worth my time. Then
That's not how she works, bro.
That is how she works.
What do you mean? She on her bases she heals. She does her double attack that he does.
Well, she got reworked since I remember Talia from back in the day.
Damn it, Remon, you got to know these things.
I got a question. I just saw Sith Assassin. Did they ever refund Sith Assassin's gear? Or there's still issues with it.
Yeah,
they refunded it. I got it back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they refunded it.
Yeah.
I got absolutely nothing back on any of my accounts.
And they reset my Sith Assassin to tier.
They're calling you out,
5.
Remon, in chat. Be more fat. You should definitely keep L3 in Gear 1. She's total garbage.
Listen, you guys can believe in Talia. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with
No,
believing in Talia.
L3.
My L3? Don't talk about my L3. She's just my L3 is a secret weapon. Okay?
And why?
She's my secret weapon. Okay, right here.
Oh God, I'm gonna have to. I think for TW,
she's my secret weapon.
For TW, I'm gonna write up some secret orders for Remon. For TW.
Please sit this one out.
and it will be, and he'll either have to sit out, or I'm going to issue a strike for every one of them that he doesn't do.
I'm looking at his roster, like there's some nice stuff there. I really like your roster, Remo. And then I'm looking at some of the characters. I'm like, what?
Listen, there are some characters I farm because we need them, and there are some characters I work on because I like them. Like Jango Fett. Do I need a Gear 12 Jango Fett? No, but to me, am I going to play this game and not have a Gear 12 Jango Fett? Absolutely not. Okay,
you love Jango Fett. He's amazing.
I've wanted Jango Fett to come to this game for years. Of course, as soon as Jango Fett came out at Gear 12 and gave him a Zeta, he's awesome. Okay,
yeah, you're right to do it. He's an amazing character, and what he does with the bounty hunter team with Boss with that 30 speed, and then if you put him with, I mean, that's the team I run in fives is Jango lead with Boss, Zam, Dengar, and Boba Fett. That team is nasty, especially when you get your Boss.
Some people want to see my Bodhi Rook, so I'm gonna pull him up over here.
That team that you're mentioning is why I've invested so much speed into
Zeta Bodhi Rook.
Have to. There are so many other characters that need those speed mods, but I cannot. I cannot risk if I see my opponent has a good Jango. I cannot risk.
It's the speed on Boss because then it counters your. It's an automatic counter to troopers because. Like I think mine's 273, so 30 speed. He's 303 speed. So it makes it to where it's like troopers ain't happening, brother. You ain't getting troopers.
I don't know, buddy.
I mean, you could try to outspeed him. I don't know how high you can take your Stark. He is going to 313. Okay, so and plus you get the 20 from Veers, but a lot of people can't.
20. I don't know.
Oh, with the 20. Okay, I would say.
Well, I'm saying, you really are. I'm saying those mods can go so many other places that will benefit me way more. But I'm just terrified of that.
That's the great, but that's the great thing about it is those kind of teams force players to kind of think. You have to look at the mods, the speeds, like what can I use and what can I use, and you have to really look at the speeds because that will bite you in the ass more than anything. And some teams like Night Sisters ain't about speed. It's just you better go in the right counter because you cannot fart around with that team. In 3s and 5s, or you will be in a world of hurt, especially if you give them turn meter.
Yep. Once they get the ball rolling, there's just
so it's the fun. That's the one thing I do enjoy about the Green Arena that is really caused a lot of theory crafting and players having to look at their roster and an overall arc. Right? What do I need besides my heavy hitters? Because it's one of the things I was talking about when I was streaming earlier. Is like. It's not just about having Darth Revan and Jedi Knight Revan. What else you got for me? Because if you got those two teams max and nothing behind it, could be in some trouble. Because if they've got like one of those teams, they could probably clear you somewhere. You can't do anything to them. So you have to think about this stuff about these teams and where you want to focus your energy, your mods, your gear, and making sure that these teams, and not just mods and certain characters, like what good old Maurice has done with Stark is perfect. Because that allows him, instead of even to use a JTR or something on a boss team, he can use his troopers and go in there and wreck face. So that's the smart way of doing it. It's not about having all the characters with speed; it's the right characters with speed, and that's where you.
I mean, I will say the last two, I forgot to place Darth Revan. My first one, I was in a hurry in this Grand Arena, but he did too, so it worked out. But the last two matches were decided, neither one of us could beat the opposing Darth Revan, and it was decided on the efficiency of beating the bottom row and the two opposing
Yep.
in that zone. The last Grand Arena, I didn't even try Darth Revan. I went after everything else, got one shot, everything else, and then, I had CLS left and like some fodder. I tried the Suicide Squad and the CLS, the Revan team. It failed miserably, but I didn't need it. I won on efficiency on the other battle. That's unfortunate. That's the way the game is right now. But
I've got to. Have you tried the trick of using a weak team to go in? I did this with Mist and some other people and used it myself. I just had bad RNG at the second go around, but where you use a weak team against Darth Revan, they use all their big hits, right? And then you go in with your Jedi Knight Revan team, and usually you can clear out like 2 or 3 of them, if not 2.
I placed Jedi Knight Revan on defense too.
Well, you can use CLS.
That's usually what I try to do. I try to. So I use Gar Saxon, Imperial Super Commando, and Director Credit as for some reason.
Right.
Those 3 seem to be just enough to drain both the abilities on Bastila and Revan, and then I go in with CLS and try to take out Bastila, and then I just pick apart with the rest of my roster, trying to get through the other 2. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I don't think Padme can cut it through. Padme is not the answer
for 3s now. For 5s, yes.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, 5 she can't beat it. 3's not a chance in hell.
No,
and the team that I was using with, and I'm change it up, is I was using Revan, Basti, and HK-47, and I got a lot of good stuff with that. But until I got to the finals, I'm like, yeah, I got to put Malik on there. I had put Malik on another team in 3s, seeing how that would work. It didn't work as well. So I'm going to put Malik on that team, and that makes the team even more ridiculous, with HK in there.
Tell you what, there's a YouTuber named End All Be All. He's got fantastic. You're going to be very hard pressed to find somebody that understands the mechanic of the game better than him. And he used a team that I copied of him, and it worked great. It was Darth Malik lead with Zalbar and Mission. And that allowed me
definitely see that working. You have 2 tanks.
And you can't hit Malik. Every time you hit Malik, Zalbar will taunt.
Right.
And then Mission's going nuts. It worked great. It never lost. And that allows me to put Parth, Juani, and Kandris. It's a crappy team, but you stuff it behind your Darth Revan.
Sure.
It's we all have. If you have Malik, you have all those characters at least gear 11 with a Zeta, right? So I mean, it's a.
Remind me of the next 3. I'll try that on mine as well. I'll keep Malik off defense. And Mission Zalbar off defense in 3s, and we'll see how that works.
Yeah, there's a lot to take down and be more fit. Endall's the man. I like him. Yeah. Endall. If you guys haven't ever watched his stuff, it's very informative. It's kind of like I don't know, like a lecture, if you will, lecture style. He goes in there, just listen to him and watch, and he explains all the teams. We've had him on our live stream on Tuesdays a couple times now. Just fantastic with the game mechanics and theory crafting. So yeah, you guys should totally check him out if you don't know who he is.
Very nice.
Very, very good.
All right, let's do our meta report in the top 5 and get through that real quick, and then we'll do.
Forget that crap. I'm seeing a
what?
Let's stay on target. That's what the people really care about is this L3. Give me mods, gear, and everything.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Can we just refresh you into gear 5 your L3?
Honestly, I mean, I need to work on her anyway because yes, you did.
Yes, built as a powerful tool.
Yes, you did.
I need 12 pieces on Critic.
I need to gear her up because I mean she's part of that ship with Lando, so I mean I need to get them up to snuff for the ship. So the ship is good, and also I mean she has a lot of value for droids, and I mean I do have.
You've got all those.
Yeah, I've got all those. So I mean,
it's really so Avinash doesn't play him live on the stream. Right?
That's part of it too.
I was going to say, he's working on it now. So because I'll assign him that specific ship for
Oh no!
Oh, this is what you're going to be using on GW defense.
Oh no! Oh no!
All right.
All right, let's move along here to the the meta report. So we have this very interesting, absolutely shocking meta report to look at here.
I wonder what it's going to say.
Darth Revan.
Are you sure these are the right numbers?
Is a number one character in the game.
You sure? I mean,
Holy crap!
only 6,300. Okay, I mean,
you got 38 people that took first place with Darth Revan, then put in their Padme team.
what's the second team? I love this. It's Darth Revan. The rest is Jedi Knight Revan. And it's like you see those little slivers of like anything else. Like, oh my god, this is worse than Jedi Knight Revan. Jesus.
It is. It is worse. Yes, it is.
Oh my god.
You have 2 Asajj Ventress and C-3PO making the top 10.
Hey, why not? You know.
I'm so surprised that so many. I'm surprised that so many people have Darth Revan. I feel like he's he was. They definitely screwed up on the cadence of that legendary release.
It's not that so many people have him; it's just that the people invested have him. And that's a big difference. It's the players that are doing arena actively, that focused in on that, have him. A lot of players do not see it all the time.
They could have made a lot more money though if they were more.
I think they're just fine. My God, they made.
I'm not saying I want that I'm happy that I'm not happy that they didn't do that. I'm just saying that it feels like it was a bad business decision to wait so long.
It's just if you have him, you're getting first place. It is what it is. I'm gonna look up. We'll go over this. I'm gonna look up the top 100 and see how much he is. That would be interesting.
All right, let's see here. But yeah, I mean, other than Jedi Knight Revan, I mean, you have some Jedi Knight. Other than Jedi Knight Revan, you have CLS and Padme are really the only other two of note. Emperor Palpatine, I guess. I mean, there's again still 2 C-3POs.
Well,
we're at rank 1 leaders.
That definitely deserves a nerf bat. We can't have that in there.
Who is running C-3PO lead in arena?
God bless you. God bless you.
No, I don't know.
That is the pimpest thing. That is straight pimping right there.
That's somebody that's on an arena shard, and somebody cannot beat their Darth Revan team, so they put in C-3PO, so they're the guy behind him can take first place.
That pretty much.
That's possibly what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, well, 1 through 100 is only 30% Darth Revan, 63% Jedi Knight Revan. 93% of the top 100 leaders are Revan.
It's Revan based though, yeah. But yeah, you see the difference there. Now, when you look at top players, it's a little bit different than. That was a great job looking that up, because then it gives you a better sense of who really has Revan, what they're using, and compared to others, shards and different levels of nature. But it's ridiculous. Let's just be honest. This is, oh my God.
So this is the top 10 squad members at rank 1. It's pretty much all Revan-based characters. Bastila Shan, Darth Revan, Sith Trooper, HK-47, Darth Malak. And I've even noticed a few people subbing in their Grandmaster Yoda into their Darth Revan team.
Yeah, if they can't beat him on speed, with that way they'll go fast Grandmaster Yoda to get the tenacity up, so they can outspeed the other guy's Revan that way. And then keep them from doing their AoEs, which makes it a pain in the ass to do.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that team's great.
Yeah,
it's a lot easier because then you only have to have your Revan and Grandmaster Yoda faster than the opposing Bastila, and not faster than both Revan and
right.
So it's a lot of guys on my shard running it, and guys with good solid mods just to make the climb easier.
I mean, I just don't bother because I like it. It's just I'm just like.
Who do you sub out? Who do you sub out on that squad?
HK, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, it's HK.
Oh, here, let me load my game.
Yeah, HK.
But other than that, it's pretty much the Jedi. You know what I mean? So that pretty much rounds out the top 10 squad members. I mean, there's not much shifting here, and I don't think Padme is going to really put a dent in this whatsoever, so I think this is going to be the deal for a little while now. Probably until we get closer to the movie, or at least the fall, I think. I think this is going to be the meta for the summer. And then I think that probably, as we get closer to the movie, I mean, they may release, who knows, they may release Snoke or something. I mean, I don't know. I feel like if they're going to the timetable for us to get Praetorian Guards, Snoke, Hux, any of these characters from the sequel trilogy that we have now.
I mean, the question though is, which half of Snoke are we getting?
Right, but I don't know. I mean,
I'm not playing with a character with just his leg. Not doing.
Would they really just pass up a character that's that big of a deal? I mean, not saying that he's huge when it comes to the narrative because he died so fast, but I mean, he's a big enough. I mean, he deserves. I think there should be a Snoke in this game before there should be a Scarif Rebel Pathfinder.
Well,
you would hope so.
Good point. I'm more interested in what they're going to bring in Episode 9, and one of the teams that I would really see is the Knights of Ren. Give us the Knights of Ren. I think that would be gangbuster to have a team like that. Someone was talking about the new clone series with the new clones in there. I'm tired, so my brain's not thinking of who they are. The Special Forces guys, they have a name, and I can't think of it because my brain's fried right now. But there's teams like that they can do. There's so many different teams that can come up with concepts like the Inquisitors from Rebels.
Yeah, I was just going to say the Inquisitors. There's still several really great characters from Rebels that they have not released whatsoever that I would love to see. And the Inquisitors would be awesome.
There's a lot of Mandalorians that they could put in the game that could make a Mandalorian faction. I mean, that would be pimp as hell.
Mandalorians would be cool. They could also add Agent Callus. They never.
How many Mandalorians do we have right now? 3? We have more than
3.
We have the Fets and Ordo. Is there another one I'm missing?
Sabine is a Mandalorian.
Sabine 4. So yeah, Sabine's she's definitely.
You
got the makings of a odd team there.
Inquisitors would be cool. Agent Callus would be cool.
Yeah, Agent Callus. I can't believe that they haven't put Agent Callus in. I mean, I'm sorry, he was like huge.
They gotta add that big dude Bindu into the game.
They could do that.
That would be cool.
What was that god awful Star Wars game we played for like a week? Force Arena. Inquisitors were in there.
They were fun as hell.
They were good.
Snoke is in there.
I haven't played that game.
Snoke is in there. There's a Supreme Leader Snoke in that game. So apparently they have the ability to do that. But we Galaxy Heroes not yet. So, and he's dead. I thought for sure that we would have gotten the Praetorian Guards and Snoke already.
No, I think that. Am I getting echoing from somewhere?
Not me.
It seemed to have stopped.
I hear it too.
Oh, okay. I thought I was hearing myself like that's weird. But I don't think they're going to be in Snoke yet. I don't think the Praetorian Guards, so maybe we'll get one. We have to see how Episode 9 plays out. Because, they're going to do the heroes. We may probably get a new version of some of like Finn, Poe, Rey, that kind of stuff. But what are the side characters in there that they're going to bring in? Are they going to bring in Snoke? We have to see what the story evolves with to where it's like, okay, we have a new version of Kylo Ren. I mean, Christ, we have like how many Hans and Chewies? Why not another Kylo Ren?
There's going to be
they're approved for Smacky Smart. Kylo Ren 3.
There's going to be a new Kylo Ren. There's going to be a new Rey with the white robes. There's going to be maybe we'll get a different version of Palpatine. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? There could be a new version of Finn, a new version of Poe, like you said. Maybe a new version of it all depends on what happens to like BB-8 and if like BB-8 like gets severely damaged in the movie and like there's like a like
lightning damage.
Semi incapacitated BB-8.
Yeah, I think that, but we need way more dark side characters in this game to kind of even things out. We don't have enough.
Praetorian Guards and Snoke would be a great thing to add.
Sure,
yeah,
but I'm saying
exactly.
That would be great. Inquisitors, the Knights of Ren, we're Mandalorians. There's a lot of ways to go with. I mean, if they went evil for the rest of the year, I'm cool with that. I'm totally cool with that.
They could have literally released 4 separate Praetorian Guards with different weapons.
Yeah,
and that would have been cool. But I mean, I don't know. They decided not to do that. I found it kind of weird because I thought they would sell too. Because I mean, they have cool outfits and stuff.
it would. Oh yeah, that stuff would be so cool. You know, have like Snoke as the leader, and then have all those little Praetorian guards. That'd be so awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it would
I'd work on that. I'd go for it.
I think they'll do it. It just depends on what happens. I mean, we obviously we're still going to get the old man Luke, but I think that's going to be part of Luke's journey. So I think we'll get we'll get
Jedi Luke first.
We'll get Jedi Luke first, and then eventually we'll get the Pastor Luke. The farmer Luke.
Pastor Luke.
Anyway, let's move on to the top 10 squad members for ships. Now this looks a lot like the regular arena list. I mean, it's just Han's Millennium Falcon has 1/4 of the pie. The Home One has 1/4 of the pie. The Houndstooth is 1/4 of the pie, and Biggs Darklighter's X-Wing has 1/4 of the pie.
Show the real thing we want to see. This is worse than the Revan.
Isn't this bad?
So bad. It's just like either you have it or you better figure a way to beat it. And I don't care enough about ships. I can beat those teams with the lineup I run, but I have like all the high end ships with high end characters that are gear 12. But even then, sometimes that Millennium Falcon, I don't care if it's 5 stars, like I win, and you're like, God damn, oh my God. So I mean, I'm forced to farm. The one piece that I don't have unlocked is that damn stupid Han's Millennium Falcon, and so I'm all in on the ship. So I will be about to have them 5 stars, and I'm going to keep going to their 7 so I can get this damn Falcon that's 7 stars. But if there's nothing else in the meta when it comes to this, it's ridiculous. I mean, we think Darth Revan's bad. Go look at the ship meta. You want to go cry? Look at this.
Yeah, the ship meta's bad. Yeah.
Yep.
Apropos, yeah, we could get Force Ghost Yoda. That'd be awesome. Shoots down lightning from the sky. Go ahead.
Just remember, guys, like how bad the Jedi Knight Revan meta against Jedi Knight meta was. Like, this is the same thing, but at least the matches take 30 seconds opposed to 4 minutes.
I like that aspect, but the thing that I'm seeing, I don't know how you feel, this is that it is definitely more of a has in this than it was Jedi Knight Revan. Because at least with Jedi Knight Revan, you beat it. But I've seen so many people that have just given up and do not even participate in PvP in my shard now because I don't drop. I may drop 1 or 2 spots now, and then I climb into the top 10 or top 5 if I'm showing frothy. But it's like people outside of the top 20 that don't have Darth Revan or the Revan doesn't have Malik are they don't even try. They're like, I can't beat your team. There's nothing I can do. I don't have the characters. It's just like
it's also it just comes down to mods. Really, that's what it is.
Even with the Jedi Revans with the mods, I mean, some of them were like, "This is ridiculous," and they just do it, and they can't keep pace. And it really is the mods. The people that have those high end mods, you're absolutely right. And even the people that are trying to get into the top 10, like I can't even get in the top 10 because it's not a matter of me not having the characters. I don't have the mods to compete with these other guys. So these other guys,
right,
are staying in the top 5. I mean, so
I would say this meta is probably the most dependent on mods we've had probably since the Darth Maul meta. But the difference is there are things that could beat Darth Maul, not named Darth.
Right.
Darth Maul versus Darth Maul, it was 100% whose Sith assassin went first, right? That determined who won.
That was a cool meta.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there were things that could beat it. Or they introduced R2. B2 was a great tool to have. B2 was, I would argue, B2 was meta during the Darth Maul meta.
Yes.
But now just not like if you can't outspeed your opponent, there's nothing you can really do to outthink, they're very, very. I'm sure there's some, but I haven't stumbled across any reliable Revan killer. And I've got great mods. It's impossible to do for me consistently. Kind of hoping Padme could fill the void, but even then, she's going to require a ridiculous amount of mods. Maybe not the speed, but you're going to need all the 6E health circles. You're going to need all sorts of offense on certain characters. Very specific mods for that team for it to be consistent. It's going to be tough. I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm going to like this Padme.
I like the Padme too. I still think we haven't going to be on that team yet. And I'm
missing
waiting to see.
Sure, yeah.
I'm waiting to see what that rework's going to be. I swear, if it's that Mace Windu that we just had to deal with in that damn Padme event, that's going to be a game changer. That dude was ridiculous. Like, where's this Mace been the whole time? Give me this badass mother. Good Lord! Like, when could he do that? Why can't Why can't mine do that? What the hell?
If we could get a good Mace Windu, that'd be so damn awesome.
Yeah.
But
how about an average Mace Windu? Let's start there. I mean, I'll take it.
yeah, we definitely need
a
that
somewhat okay Mace Windu.
All right, this is the top 10 reinforcements at rank 1. Again, not much change here, except for the Ghost kind of making some way up the list here a little bit. It's just the Phantom 2, Cassian's U-Wing, Ghost, Wedge Antilles X-Wing, Lando's Millennium Falcon, and then, Biggs Darklighter's X-Wing, TIE Advance, the Ebon Hawk is on there. But again, it's pretty much similar stuff here. So let's move on to our top 5 for the week. And this week we are doing top 5 Sith. Figured to be relevant because, I mean, the Sith meta is pretty much what it's at right now. And, we need to kind of look at what are the best teams to couple with your Darth Revan, and what are the best 5 Sith to kind of put together or to consider for your arena team right now.
Good.
So, top 5 Sith. At number 5, who do we have here, Maurice?
This is top 5 Sith. That's what you want me to do. The top 5 Darth Revan Sith?
No, top 5 Sith.
Top 5 Sith. Number 5 is Palpatine. We would have made this list, I don't know, a month and a half ago. He would arguably be 1 or 2, but he is now number 5. That change to Malik rendered him pretty useless in the arena meta.
Right.
But in terms of leadership abilities, he still has one of the very, very best leadership abilities in the entire game, just because it spans across 2 of the game's now largest factions. Lots of pieces you can plug behind him, get that turn meter, get the boost. You can put 1 Zeta on Palpatine and throw any 4 Empire Sith behind him and have something to work with. Very, very good leadership. The AoE stun.
May I please make a request moving forward? Can we take pictures of your characters, good on Maurice? Because every time I look over at these mods,
that's half the fun, man.
I can't look. I can't do this.
It's half the fun. We got a crit damage, pal. You got some crit damage. But he's very, very good. He actually, in Remon's defense,
I love you so much, Remon.
If you do get him to crit, he does pretty considerable damage.
Yeah.
Very, very good. He's got a 2nd Zeta. I don't personally have it. I never really found it to be too sexy, but I don't have it, so I can't speak on it.
I think there's a reason. I think there's a reason to increase his crit chance, right? Doesn't he have something built into his crit chance? I think so.
I don't even remember.
We're gonna pretend that all your crit damage mods there have 8% crit chance secondaries on them.
All my mods have 16% crit chance.
Yes, and then you got yourself a nasty pal.
It's 16 speed.
They're all 16 speed.
Oh my God! Are we going to start that again?
Yeah.
I'm looking to see what I have on my palp, just out of curiosity.
I think I went potency and speed on my...
I went offense and potency.
I think I went mainly potency, but I think I changed it, yeah.
At number
potency is his base is pretty good. We're moving to number 4. He's tired of the Palpatine jokes.
Yeah, we had to move.
we had to move on. We had to move on.
Oh no! What happened?
Yeah, Palpatine is definitely a great Sith, and he's got a lot of utility. He's a great leader for TW, and he's obviously still important for certain aspects of the game, and he can still be used, as a component of your team in arena in certain metas. I mean, it just depends on what the rest of your board is running. But
yeah, great Grand Arena, all that stuff, very much.
At number 4, we have Darth Traya. So Darth Traya is a character that up until a few months ago was pretty much the meta. It was number 1. It would have been probably number 1 on this list, let's say 7-8 months ago. She's just got a ton of utility. I mean, she's a support character that has a great leader ability. I mean, for the Sith, she's pretty much, I would say, the second best leader in the game for Sith, in my opinion. And she's got the ability to pretty much render a tank useless. With her isolate, that obviously helps out the team tremendously. And her unique ability, dispels debuffs from her allies, and then removes health from your opponents based on how many debuffs that she removes from her allies. So it's a great unique, probably the best unique in the game, in my opinion. And she still does a ton of damage for a support character. So overall, she definitely deserves a place right here on this list.
I agree.
Thank Kyrell. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I agree. She's still really good. She's definitely lost a lot of luster with Revan and Darth Revan being out, but, she's still got a good team behind her that she can still take out some really good teams in TW and GA. So, and I was just looking at mine. Mine's like at 106%. I modded mine for tenacity.
Well, what's good with her is that you don't really need to, like, she doesn't utilize the same characters as the Darth Revan team does. So
right. Yeah, you could do a little more mixing and matching with her, definitely.
What were you going to say, Maurice?
Just a useful tool. We talked about Palpatine being pretty good against other teams. Traya, pretty much. I don't know about you guys, but I rarely see a Darth Traya on defense, simply because it's super susceptible now. CLS, maybe A.
Yeah.
B, it's just so versatile offensively. You can beat anything with Darth Traya, not named Darth Revan or arguably CLS. The beats about anything. That's, if you can, a good strategy to kind of keep is try not to use your Darth Traya, because when it comes down to it, the Darth Traya will beat whatever you have to beat, as long as it's not Darth Revan or CLS. Very, very good. Just the passive cleanse, the passive choo-choo train now coming through the backyard. Passive cleanse, got to isolate. Isolate is still one of the very, very best debuffs in the game. Great. Unfortunately, it does not prevent Anakin. I would assume Malik as well. I don't know, but from taking the bonus turn, which was kind of unfortunate. I found that out the other day the hard way. But that's unfortunate. But yeah, very, very good. Yeah, just a great character. Still good for you newer players. If you're watching this, it's going to take you a long time to get her. But once you start accumulating shards, you really need to kind of start getting your Scion and your Nihilus. You should have had Nihilus already. Get those characters ready for her, because you will definitely want her for all areas. She'll be super important for this new TB2 that's coming out. I'd assume, on the free missions where you can use any dark side character, and Darth Traya is still going to be money.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. That's our number 4 Sith in the game. Who do we have at number 3, Maurice?
Number 3. Hold on, I am mesmerized by this backyard wrestling video. I've been watching it.
Oh, I thought you were mesmerized. I was mesmerized by Trace.
Is this still my video?
Yeah. Well, I don't have any sound on it, but Nihilus is number 3. It's been playing in the background. Thank you, Frank D, for sharing that. You really made probably my entire life complete by sharing that. Yeah, Darth Nihilus. Just mentioned, this should be one of... I'm reluctant to say now, but just because you don't need it for anything. But Darth Nihilus should be at least unlocked for you as early as possible. He adds so much. AoE, cooldown reduction, and then an Annihilate that kills any character not named Knight Zombie for good. Very, very, very useful character. Dispel in the basic is very slow, but he does get turn meter fed to him through either your Palpatine lead, or the Traya will boost his turn meter as well with a Triumvirate bonus. The leadership ability is kind of It's very It's got some niche uses, I guess, in 3 versus 3, but his leadership is not something you should probably Zeta. A lot of people have his unique Zeta. I do not, so I can't really speak to the benefit of that. I didn't find it that useful. It seemed to come and go. It seemed to be real useful for one meta, and then just like the Palpatine meta came. And
it has its uses. It's a solid.
Yeah.
His leader is like you said.
Yeah. there's just too much shock and health based damage now for that leadership to be useful at all. Because nothing like nothing like Rose Tico coming in and hitting Nihilus for 60k because he's got so much health. But yeah, everyone knows what he does. Dispel basic, cooldown reduction, annihilate. Very, very good character.
Annihilate is pretty much all you need to say. I mean, taking out a full character with one attack is pretty ridiculous. Obviously, increasing cooldowns, dispelling on a basic. His leader is meh. It's one of those leaders that I thought on paper sounded like it would be really cool, especially with characters like Count Dooku who would regain their health and things like that with attacks. I thought that this would have been a meta leader ability when it first dropped, but goes to show you like what something says on paper and then how it actually translates to the live game are two separate things. So
it was good for a while. I would say 90% of people that have that Count Dooku Zeta, used it underneath Nihilus for a couple months.
Right. And then his unique is really good. Basically sticks a debuff on an opponent every time they take a turn, which is awesome. It's something you always want, especially with a team that benefits so much from debuffs like the Sith. So absolutely fantastic. That's our number 3 Sith in the game. Moving along to our number 2 Sith in the game, we have Darth Malak. So Darth Malak is here for obvious reasons because he's the new hotness. That's number 1. And he's got he's a really great character. I mean, he's got decent damage. His drain life ability is very useless. I'm sorry, very useful. Useless. very, very, very useful. He's got the ability to basically sustain because his health his protection is turned into health at the start of the match. When he uses his drain life ability, he can, gain full HP again at the end, at the end of that, and end the match with full HP if if modded correctly. And his unique abilities work in such a way that it really accentuates the Darth Revan lead. He's really that last component that was necessary that we were saying we needed when Darth Revan first came out. We were saying there was something missing with these Sith Empire characters and that this team wasn't whole, wasn't complete, and Darth Malak does complete Darth Revan. So it makes the team just one of the most, or if not the most, difficult team to take out in arena, and probably the most effective team in all areas of the game right now.
I was hard pressed not to put him number 1, to be honest with you, because Darth Revan initially came out and was like, "Oh, this isn't too bad. I could still beat Darth Revan," and now not a peep from those people because they can't beat it anymore. It's Darth Malak, so those people have taken their ball and just taken it to the fifth. So that's Darth Malak is insane. Once you get him Zeta, is you can't crit him. You cannot crit him or he will fear you, and that applies to any. It doesn't have to be under Darth Revan for that to happen. That can happen in any situation. He won't be getting very many taunts per se, but he will be able to fear the opponent by simply being present. Any AOE, they crit him, they're feared. So he's just very, very good character. The life drain moves is essentially it's an annihilate. If there's no protection on the character and there's no max health stacking like a first order executioner, well, I guess even then he's just one shot. I mean, no protection equals pretty much one shot in most cases. He's got a dispel. He's got a basic that does little to no damage, but he does get what are the green burst calls that he gets? The little sunflower icon. He gets a little sunflower icon. I can't think of the name of it. That will provide much, much higher offense for him. So he does end up hitting very, very hard towards the end of a match. It's just great, just unbelievable character. And if you have him, you work for him. It's like that event was that was.
Let's not relive that horror.
Well, yep. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but that's me. But let's not have a cap on the characters, but more events like that would be welcomed by me. Keep in mind, I also like tournaments, so yes.
Yeah, I have one that's 7-star G12, totally zetaed, and it's just I never move in arena. I don't move. Everybody goes around me.
Yeah, it's just that's the real deal. That 7-star. I mean, mine's 6. There's a guy in my arena service payouts a couple hours before me, and I kind of help him out and pass him the 5-star Malix now because he's having a real hard time beating the 6-star Malix. I guess they're just a little too healthy, a little too fast, just a little bit better than the 5-star. That's just enough to make him even more of a pain. They really need to remedy it. They need to come out with something that at least at least helps you slightly against me. He is the real deal.
Yeah.
I think that Padme will probably get some pieces here soon that will make her better. I find it hard to believe that they would not add some correspondence around like a legendary character like this. I think that they'll probably sell something or release something soon that adds like some Galactic Republic synergy. If not having to do with maybe some reworks to other characters that are already Galactic Republic tagged. So we'll see. I mean, but I think that for sure, I mean, he is the tank that the Sith needed. And he's got that passive taunt. He's got just, he's just a great character all around. And yeah, you could definitely, make an argument for him to be the number one Sith in the game for sure. But that leads us to our obvious number one Sith in the game, and that is
Fallen Bastila.
Fallen Darth Revan. But it is pretty clear that this guy has, every tool in the book. I mean, he's got such an outrageous sounding kit that, I mean, when you talk about it, it sounds like you can't imagine anything would be able to beat it. But, if you think about all the text in this game now at this point and all the different types of abilities out there, there is always a way. You just have to you have to find it, and there are people that do it every day, but it would be nice to see a little bit more of diversity in the meta for sure, with other teams that can kind of counter some of the characters like this that are out there. But overall, I mean, he does a lot of damage. He's an attacker. He's got great leader ability. He has an area of effect attack that does a ton of damage. He's got, I mean, he's really just all around just a fantastic character. I mean, what are your thoughts about him, Maurice?
Well, yeah, he's just like what makes him so good is if you build a team that does not include Darth Revan, you can meticulously mod it, have it super fine-tuned. It doesn't matter. Darth Revan's gonna go and eliminate all their. It doesn't matter. It's silly how good this character is. They went a little overboard with the power creep here. The same thing can be said about Jedi Knight Revan. They're making leaps, not creeping. They're just sprinting with the curve here. This is a AOE fear, AOE shock. He's got a basic attack, and he will do his basic attack automatically after he uses any move. If there's if there's a certain situation, leadership ability just out of this world in terms of goodness. I mean, we see him all day, every day. We saw it. Probably 98% of anybody that takes first place is using Darth Revan. That's for a reason.
Don't forget about the mark. He marks people too, and they go.
Yep.
Oh yes. Oh yes, the death mark on the leader. yes. Just unreal.
He also, I mean, just fear itself is the most ridiculous debuff I've ever heard of in my life. I mean, having to miss a turn entirely. It's I mean, just when I first read that, I was like, well, really? Miss the next turn? Can't use abilities? Can't evade? Increase cooldowns by 1? It's It's ridiculous, if you think about it. I mean, that's such a sick debuff. I mean, there's no better one in the game. And fear, okay, so fear expires from taking damage from an attack, but it's just it's such a cool debuff, and again, it's one of those things where they just have added so much stuff to the game that they have to create kits like this at this point in order to beat the teams that they built before. I mean, because they made Jedi Knight Revan very OP as well, so they had to make the counter just equally as, if not more, obviously more OP than that. So the next big character that comes out will also have some ridiculous, like absolutely crazy abilities in order to be.
And that will be the true Revan, the true Lord and Savior.
You think you still think that's going to happen? You still think
that's not for years? Yeah, that's not happening. I will never get a true version of I know. So
we'll see.
It's going to be Jedi Luke and some other characters. I think everybody's burnt out on the Old Republic.
Yeah,
that's our number one Sith in the game. We do have an honorable mention, and it is
Sith Trooper,
Bastila the Fallen.
Oh,
you wouldn't have believed it, but it's here. Yeah, she's got. She's arguably one of the more valuable characters on the team.
Nasty.
Yeah. I mean,
she works so well.
That rework they gave her made her a completely different character.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So glad they reworked her, because she was just. I never used her before that because it was awful.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan either. I procrastinated the event and did it on like the last night that event was around. I fell asleep on the couch on like the fourth. I think I had a 2-star. I was the only person that had a 2-star Bass. I got to like the third or fourth one just to get enough shards on locker. I could not get her to 3, and she just sat. But she's great, and I know honorable mention seems a little rough for her, but this list was made for overall usefulness. She is a support character for Darth Revan, and arguably for Palpatine. Any Sith leader, I guess.
Any Sith leader. I mean, Traya, she's ridiculous with. Yeah. Palpatine, she's ridiculous with. So if you're right. I obviously you want her with. I mean, that's where she shines. But if you don't have Revan, but you got Fallen Bastila, boy, let me tell you something. Palpatine and Traya get huge boosts from this young lady and their teams. They're no joke, and they're not something you want to fart around with either, because she will wreck you. Because
50% potency is what they added that work. It used to be just the leader gains foresight for 1 turn, which is especially silly now because just Darth Revan just anytime anybody takes turn just immediately sheds the foresight. It's a little ridiculous, but this is overall usefulness that is helpful. If you use her, like if you're a newer player. You have access to Bastila, but you don't have access to Revan or Malak or anything like that. You can totally use her with those examples Ranger just gave. The 50% defense, 50% tenacity, and potency. That is how Darth Traya could beat Jedi Knight Revan
easily.
If you didn't have Jedi Knight Revan, you used her and just Traya basically tanked for your team. Everybody else could do their thing. Nihilus get his Annihilate off, and Traya just simply wouldn't die because she had so much tenacity to shed the health steal. Or the health down, whatever that nonsense is. The defense and potency is a new addition, but she does. Let's see what it is. It's the corrupted battle meditation, much like her Jedi counterparts. She takes a turn. She doesn't have to do anything. It's just a passive, pure potency roll. Will eliminate your. Was it 30? I think it's 30% crit chance and something else. 30% counter chance. So that was kind of designed to help counter the Revan. And enemies will lose 3% turn meter, doubled against non-Jedi and Sith if they have that on them. Every little bit counts in terms of that. And of course, she has another instance of fear, which when you dispel this one, it gives every debuff in the game on your head. So that if you don't have Revan, that will make her incredibly useful for someone like using her with like a Vader. Vader can swoop in with his saber throw on the second turn and really deal some huge damage.
Yeah.
And then, of course, a shock, which But this shock, if you hit somebody that already has shock, does a pretty wicked AoE to go with it.
Oh my god, it's nasty. You can one-shot team.
I love it. Yeah.
Oh my god,
It's so fun to watch. It's so fun to watch. I love it.
That's the most ridiculous thing in the entire game right now is her ability to literally just one shot like a whole squad of characters. Like just really just takes out a whole team. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. When it happens to you too, it's really bad. It's like it's devastating. You know, you're just like it happened to me earlier in the stream. Like I literally went against a guy and this Basilisk just wiped me out. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh man, it's over, you know?
It's like, oh no.
Oh
no.
Yeah, that's funny.
See, what had happened was I forgot about Basti. And then what happened? I died.
Yeah, it's like, it literally comes down to speed with her, you know? It's crazy. But she's really good. All right, that's our top 5 for this week. Top 5 Sith. Hope you like that kind of thing. We're gonna go back to some gameplay here, and while we do that, I guess we have a couple of questions that have been asked during the stream. This is typically that time where we will start compiling your questions. If you guys have any topics you'd like to discuss, or you have any questions you'd like to ask, please do type them into the chat, and we'll go ahead and discuss these questions, and we'll do a little
gameplay. My ass, you better get on that.
Let's see if I can get wiped out here by we got a Jedi Revan team. I'll find a Jedi Revan team.
The first question, maybe a little out of context now. Finity asked at the very beginning of the stream, what should be the consequences for Ranger since they called him a cheater?
Yeah, I think we were all called cheaters at one point, right? So me more than others. Like we remember that old chestnut, right? So
well, I can the first time I really interacted with you, I popped on your Let's Get Thrawn stream. I can 100% verify that Ranger is not a cheater.
Yes.
Yes.
We need a montage. Oh, God. The things I do for myself for the entertainment of our community. That's worth it.
I will say that one they've gotten much better since then.
I've done better, yes.
Yes, much better. That one was rough, and that was rough for everybody.
I know. I just could not bring I hated it so much. I so tried to skimp the hell out of it.
Well, because they all took the same gear and so much of it.
I hated it.
Like Zeb and Kanan were identical.
I so much hate that team. It'll be the last thing I work on. I mean, just for ships, but oh my god, I can't. Even to this day. Stupid Finity.
Yes. That was a lot of fun, though.
I know. We were getting blitzed, man. We were drinking and having to go.
This next question comes from Tesla Edit, and he or she seems to be kind of new to the YouTube type of Discord informational type aspect of the game, the community, if you will. Anyone have any recommendations on how to mod Death Trooper? I don't know why, but I 7-starred him, and I feel like that wasn't the move. So how do you guys mod your Death Trooper?
Death Trooper is really good. I mean, like, you shouldn't feel bad about that.
No, he's a good character. It's definitely potency and or you can go offense with him. Potency is one you do want a potency set because of his AoE. But you also want damage on him as well. I went offense. Some people he's too slow, so a speed set is not necessarily the way to go. But potency, and kind of how you want to do it. I mean, crit is important for the troopers and what they do. So if you want to run a crit chance on that as well, make them a little beefy with some health and protection, you can go there, or you can go full offense. I've seen so many different ways of people doing it, but the one thing that does not change is potency. There's always a potency set on there, and a lot of secondaries with potency with it because of what he does.
I actually have crit damage and crit chance on mine.
Yeah, but what's your potency though on the secondary?
98%.
That's perfect.
That's phenomenal.
That's why.
It was like, oh, hey, look at that. Okay, never mind.
I've got mine the same way Ranger just suggested. I've got an offense set on them and a potency set. I'm not. I don't even think mine's 98% potency, but I would definitely shoot for at least 65-70% on him, because that will make him usable just about every PvE
Right, and I forgot
situation.
too, he dazes and can stun, so that's an important
Yeah.
aspect of him as well. So yeah, I mean, I would say this: if you haven't worked on the rest of the troop here right now, because he's a good character, but he's niche. So if you've got him like gear 8, leave him there. Work on the rest of your troopers, and when you're ready to go all in trooper gear 11, then he's definitely one you want to work on right away, because he's that damn good. He's a really good character, especially in 3s. You can use him. The team I use him, Ron, Death Trooper, and Short Trooper. I mean, that team just can kick the crap out of a lot of stuff, because they're nasty. But him on the Trooper team, I cannot tell you how important that Trooper is to that team. You know, your Snow Trooper does your AoE big hits, and the other two are speeding the team up and doing their thing. But Death Trooper's where the money's at. So yeah.
All right. Yes. Yeah, Death Trooper. Good character. Good character. Apropos. What are some of the key characters?
Apropos woman.
Yes. Thank you, Ranger. I butchered your name twice tonight, man. Sorry about that. What are some of the
Apropos? Don't worry, you didn't pull a Grande. You would have apricot.
He asks, what are some of the key characters to provide massive speed boost to the team? I guess just a broad question. Which characters do you guys like to use to boost your turn meter and give you high speed?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think we were talking about this before. I talk about this a lot in cross reviews, is that it's about certain characters, right? So you don't need a full. Some characters don't need speed, right? Like, depending on how you use them. But let's say your PvP team, but it's not your entire PvP team that needs speed. Says, I mean, they're hard to get, and they're hard to get to where they proc double digits, let alone 20, right? You have to be kind of strategic to where you place them. Characters like Darth Revan, Bastila, Jedi Knight Revan, Stark, Bosk, characters that need speed because you want them going first as much as possible. BB-8. Forget about JTR. You better have some damn speed on your BB-8, because if he goes for not your JTR anyway. So focus on damage with your JTR more than anything. So there's certain characters, Emphas, Thrawn. There's a top 10 you could just list on your hand that need that speed. But some other characters I see, like their tanks have speed and no health and protection. I'm like, no, you need to put health and protection and defense and stuff on your tanks. So I think that's kind of what he's asking. I mean, I'm sure I missed some characters you guys probably have that you think probably need speed as well, right?
Yeah, my mind's a little different. Like, if I just had to randomly select 5 characters that I really focus a lot on speed, you mentioned one of them, Stark. Stark, I mean, he's super fast, because the faster he is, the rest of the team provides a turn. I like characters like that. Biston is actually another one that I use quite often. Biston's got a decent base speed, especially if you put him under an Akbar lead. He could very, very feasibly go first in a match. Just as Frenzy gives a turn meter to the whole team, they do a special move. He gets 100% turn meter, then he can go back in 100% remove 100% turn meter from any enemy, pretty much if you're choosing. Granted, there's no tenacity up or anything like that, or they're immune to turn meter removal like some of these characters are now, which is absolutely ridiculous. Stormtrooper Han is still one I use a lot. I actually have a Zeta on Stormtrooper Han. I still use him pretty much every day for turn meter manipulation purposes. If you're a newer player, speed leads are very helpful. Tarkin, Akbar, Lando Calrissian, characters like that just give flat speed to your team can be helpful. I really like the First Order team. I really, really invest a lot of speed in the old Kylo Ren. If he can go first, he does his AoE. Because, 2 years ago now, what the hell, it might even be 3, when they first introduced Zetas, everyone complained about Kylo Ren because the AI favored his AoE. not his Zeta move. But now it's actually preferred because he goes first. You know, we're talking 250 plus speed at least on your old Kylo, plus the crew speed leadership. He's a crew's another one that gives a flat speed leader.
Well, the one I like on that first order is because he'll speed up your team like no other. That's
the officer is easier to do. He's much faster based. Kylo's slow, but Kylo or first order officer, either one of them.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
And Kylo will give the whole team turn meter.
Well, what you get, but if officer goes fast, you pass the baton to executioner, then executioner will have advantage in crit and feed 10% turn meter to your team and himself from critting himself. So first order is a fun team to manipulate turn meter with. There's dozens. I could go on about this for hours. BB-8, you mentioned Hermit Yoda is another good one.
Yeah,
he's another great one. Just ways to just get your team turn meters without having blazing fast speed on everybody. Poe was one I used for a long time. Not so much.
He is no more. Yeah,
It's really more the Finn thing that's the problem now. Yeah, but another one would be Sith Assassin, right? I mean, even though
yeah.
Maybe not versus Darth Revan, but I mean any other. I mean that's why Darth Maul was the meta for so long, because Sith Assassin was present. She's probably one of the better examples in the game. Oh, Rex, of course, Rex. I mean, yes, Rex goes without saying.
Rex for sure. The Jawa engineer. If you're going to use,
please don't use Jawa engineers.
We're talking about like, you know, this is not meta here. We're talking about like, you know, if you're running a droid team in Grand Arena or in Territory Wars, or, you know, I mean, you could still put together a good droid team with with like General Grievous and Jawa engineer.
Definitely. Well, these are characters, all the ones everyone's mentioned, that these are the types of characters that will save your butt when you get to the back row of Grand Arena and you've got very, very little left. You can kind of piece together, he's making fun of, mentioned Lando Calrissian, but you get to that back wall of TW or Grand Arena and you run low on options. You got a Lando lead that will give speed and crit damage to two of the largest factions in the game. So you can piece together some sort of team to take out their weak Ewoks, or take out, because that's the worst thing in the world. When you're so low, you lose to like a Gear 10 Ewok team on the back wall. I've done it before. Or like that Phasma, like the leftover First Order 3 versus 3 team, like First Order officer Phasma and like TIE pilot. Like you're like, oh, this is easy, and then you go in there and they just waste.
You're like, no.
My Hoth Rebel soldier and scout couldn't get the job done, so I just running low on options.
Why is this happening?
Yeah. We really don't really have too many other questions. Oh, we got one more, I think, here that gathered. Lots of just good chat, though. A lot of people watching tonight. Thank you guys for sticking with us. It's a long one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tesla edit. Yeah, do check out Discord.
There's tons of.
I mean, there are tons of people. I saw Darth Microtransaction here. He's another YouTuber.
Good dude.
Ramon's got a server. Ranger is part of RSG. They've got a huge Discord server. Lots of people in there answering all sorts of questions. What you have, all sorts. I mean, you get in some of these Discorders like Rangers, for instance. There's so many people on there, and all of them have different specialties. More than likely, somebody will be able to help you. Like your Death Trooper answer, I'm sure there's a Empire fanatic in there that can just really break it down for you. It's difficult to know each and every character in this game back and forth.
It really is.
So I mean, that's why the community is so helpful, because everyone specializes in different.
Yeah, and you can go to Operation Metaverse.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Go down I mean, they're all. I mean, I'm in all of them, because I'm always just checking around. I don't have as much time to chat like I once upon a time, but I still go in and see who's posting what or who's talking about what, and it's really cool because then I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. Okay, cool. Let me go look at my team. Okay, so there's a lot of good stuff, and the cool thing about the Discord is we kind of all share stuff. So there's lots of videos being put out, and a lot of us share, and let other YouTubers put their content in there. So you can go there and look for videos from all these great folks. that you can, like, if you look for something specific, you may not even know you need, someone to put out a video. You check out like YouTube videos or community content. You're like, okay, that's a good video. So yeah.
Yeah, at the very least, just join as many servers as you can. You don't have to chat in any of them. Just go through. Like if it's like Grand Arena setup time, just go through all the servers and just look at people's pictures on what they're placing. Like, oh, I have that team. I have that team.
Mm-hmm.
If you see it, maybe then ask a question about it. I don't know. That might be terrible advice.
No, I think that's good advice.
But
I think that's good advice, especially if
it's good advice.
Especially if they've got YouTubers doing that now, and I think that's really good because you'll learn a lot on the different. Just watching how everybody does their, because we're all at different levels, right? So you can find the level where you're at and give you some ideas to work on and what works for you, maybe at your GP level or something you farm for the future because you're seeing how effective it is. So there's a lot of great YouTubers doing Grand Arena. Some are more entertaining than others. My boy Urs, I love Urs. Just the most ridiculous person. So great. If you haven't checked out Urs, you just want to laugh and check out. Oh my God, he's ridiculous. But yeah.
welcome to the community, there, buddy.
We got
a couple more just poured in. They're pretty. We actually talked a little bit about this. So this is from Cole. What are your thoughts on Jango Fett? Is he worth taking to 12?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Big time.
absolutely,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. I think he's one of the best bounty hunters. He's actually got a really good leader ability too. It's just that Bossk's is just so much better.
Yeah,
You know,
you have to have specific characters.
If there
Yeah,
was,
you
if
have
there
to
was,
have specific-
if there was no Bossk though, I think that Jango Fett's leader would be the most popular leader for bounty hunters.
His
Oh, yeah.
payout's ridiculous.
Yeah.
God, that thing is so OP, man.
Well,
It
he's
is.
another great one for that previous question too, because he applies to all the scoundrels, not just bounty hunters. So, I mean,
Yes.
his speed lead applies to what 20 some odd plus characters now.
Put emphasis with him. See what happens.
Oh, that team is my least favorite team to fight in 3 vs 3. Django, Boba, Emphas Nest. I hate that team. I absolutely hate it. But what a nightmare.
Emphasis goes first, and then they start.
Yeah, the end.
Ow!
Yeah.
I want to turn now. Stop hitting me.
I don't think his leadership Zeta is absolutely required. It's helpful,
No.
but I think if you do put a Zeta on him, it should be that unique that allows him to kill a character for keeps. So I think that Zeta is a good Zeta. I don't have it, but that is one that keeps getting bumped down my list. Thank you, General Grievous team. 7 Zetas. Good God.
Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, I have all the droid Zetas. I couldn't beat the Padme Zeta because I didn't have the one that I had to do. So
Oh my God.
I got them all now, but all right. Aberdune asks tonight's final question. How many people open character pages and just spin them around?
Well, let's see. Who do we know that does that?
I think
I don't do that. Avinash, do you do that?
Well, sometimes I'll do that with my blueberry muffin Thrawn.
Sure.
You know, so just get a good look at him.
Mm-hmm. A lot of
Grim says, "Don't really do that in this game. Not much eye candy."
I don't know. Take a look again.
There
Grim.
really isn't that much eye candy. Even the guy characters, it's like, okay.
You can
It's
use your
guy or
imagination.
girl. No one in the Star Wars galaxy in this game seems to do any sort of lunges whatsoever. Okay.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no!
The skinny toothpick legs and the flatboard booties on every character in this game. So
Get some rice and beans going into this trough. Jesus.
let's get some Crisco in Lisa's diet.
Wait. Snips? Or are you talking Lady Tana? Yeah, she's.
Yep. One karate kick to the kneecap, and that whole leg's just going to fly right off. So,
No, let it go slow. Let us enjoy it. Let us enjoy it.
Just spin and just let it slow. Yeah, it's real slow.
I hate that the characters naturally spin on their own, because if you're making like a video and you say something dumb or incorrect, and you go back and clip it out, like the character always like glitches. Like you can totally tell.
Let's look at the new Ahsoka Tana Fulcrum. Wait, that's not her face. Damn it!
Yeah, I mean the audio editing can be spot on, but it's that all of a sudden never mind. What am I? All right.
All right, Grim. We don't need to know about your diving, Grim.
So we're just gonna wrap it up on a spinning, really slow Ahsoka Tano, and she's just what a sight. Yeah, so I can sit here and spin my characters for sure.
Please don't.
If you guys really want a sight, you should YouTube FMX versus LDB.
I'm going to right after the stream. I'm going to.
You should definitely do that, and you'll see a really interesting character in there somewhere. I'm sure.
This one match, they beat the hell out of each other. This one match, man.
Was
crazy.
Was I in it?
No, it's some ladder match.
Okay.
I wasn't listening to it. That'd be too much.
But yeah, so I appreciate everybody sticking it out with us. This was a long one tonight, and it was a fun one though. We had a good time, and we'll be back next week with live show number 97. As we creep closer to episode 100, I'll definitely make sure to give you guys some more info on what to expect on the 100th episode. We'll try to do something cool, and I'll have probably that all mapped out probably the week before, but I'll definitely update you guys when I know more, and definitely make sure to check out the other great live streams going on this week on Ranger's channel at Reality Skewed Gamers. The link is in the description. They'll be on Wednesday night, and then on Tuesday night, make sure to check out the Operation Metaverse stream on the Operation Metaverse channel. Link is also in the description for that. And, we'll be hopefully available for next Saturday's Jedi Academy. I've been kind of busy the last couple of weeks with some new employees I'm training at work. So Saturdays have been kind of tough for me, but if I can make it this Saturday, I'll be there. Either way, definitely make sure to check it out. It's a great show with Warrior, Ranger, and Finity, and the whole crew. So it's a lot of fun. Maurice is there.
Yeah, Tesla. If you are wanting to know and you have lots of questions, that's a great place to go Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. That's strictly Q&A for 2 hours, Ranger? You trying to keep it at?
Yeah, we keep it 2 hours.
Just straight Q&A, which is cool. I can't believe you have so many questions.
We get like 40 to 50 questions easily.
It's so crazy. But it's active, very active community, and it's great over there too. So
where's Mike Hunt been?
Huh?
Where's Mike Hunt been?
He's been on vacation doing other stuff. But
haven't heard him in a while on there.
Yeah. He's been on the lunch stream. He was on the lunch stream today.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been
all right, good.
Pooping and pooping around.
Making sure he wasn't a casualty of the Darth Revan meta.
No. He's he's actually in my guild group, WC. So.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, definitely check out all that stuff this week, and we'll be back next week with another episode of the Alliance Live Show. May the Force be with you guys, and we will see you on the next one. Good night.